Hello guys, and welcome to, let's see, this is episode 3 of the DSG Swap in my wagon here. I got my friend helping me to video as well, which is very nice. We got the lift up, bolted down and plugged in and everything, it works. We go up and down and everything. So today we're gonna start tearing down the Golf. And that means removing the battery. We're gonna move the intercooling piping as well as the intake to the turbo, which is probably all that I have time for today, but that's a start at least. And we're gonna start removing the gearbox and everything like that as well, downpipe, turbo and everything. Take this. Well, och sen ska vi ha en sån också. Nu ska jag ha med typ 7 eller det då. Kan vi få in bilarna också. Till exempel. Intake. Vad ska vi säga? Den ska vi ha med. Står mitt överallt. På batteriet kvar. So, and there we go guys. Now all we have left is the battery we're going to remove, as well as this cool little plastic paste that looks very nice on the stock engines. Then we're pretty much done up here. We're going to of course remove the shifter cables as well, where we're going to get the old gearbox out, as well as removing the gearbox mount and the clutch lines as well, and all the starter engine and all that stuff that you need to get out of. And then tomorrow we're gonna start tear down the downpipe and get the exhaust down a little bit, so we can get the old shifter out, as well as get the new DSG shifter in. Try to modify that to fit. Hopefully it's just 2 holes we have to drill, and then we're gonna mount it and see how well it fits. So yeah, let's get this going. Very nice. Ordentligt. Bra. There we go. Finally. Very nice. Now we just have to get rid of the battery tray here. Hopefully that goes just as easy. go. Very nice. Okay, there we go, guys. Now we got the battery tray out as well. Now all we have left is the shifter cables and this plastic piece here, which I can probably tear down pretty easy. It's just a couple of clips here, like this. And I only have 2 of them because I removed all the holders here. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Tomorrow we'll go for the downpipe as well as getting rid of the old shifter, as well as getting in the new shifter, making that fit. Alright guys, so I decided that we should take out the gear shifter today. And to do that, I think we need to get rid of this one, the plastic interior. So we're gonna remove that screw, and we're gonna remove this screw and do the same on the other side, and then we'll see how much place we have here to remove the shifter. Alright guys, so we got the front screws loose, and these screws in the back, you don't really need those because they're only for the console here, the middle console. I think there's screws on the underside as well, so it's still firm in place here, as you can see. It's a little bit loose, but there's screws on the underside as well, I think. So what we're gonna do now is raise the car and remove the downpipe, I think, to get the heat shielding away, and then remove the linkage. All right, so a tip for you guys: when you remove this, you can remove this whole console. So if you do that, you can take the screws from the top here. It's way easier to remove them. So yeah, remove this and then get the screws, and we'll take the screws on the bottom as well. All right guys, as you can see, we got the downpipe loose, so we got the rear exhaust hanging here. Also removed the mid holder there, and now we can see the shifter. And as you can see here, we got 2 bolts there, so we're gonna loosen that, and hopefully we'll get the whole shifter assembly loose, and so we can remove that and start mocking up the new DSG shifter and see where we have to drill to get that mounted, basically. There we go guys. As you can see, we got the old shifter removed, and now we drilled 2 new holes, these ones, and because the old one just sits with a bolt from the top there and the bolt from the bottom in that mount, so you need to drill these new holes, and they are 21 centimeters from the front to the rear, and then they are 6 centimeters from left to right. So yeah, that's what you're gonna need to do to make the shifter work. Let's see if we can bolt it down from the inside now. All right guys, there we go. We got the shifter mounted and just got this here temporarily because we're gonna need to get some cables here. But this is basically how it will look from, well, now I'm in the passenger seat, but it's basically flush here, which is awesome. We're gonna get some leather here, so you won't even notice that it's sticking up. And as I said, the other shifter that I got, the big one, it would be almost 4 centimeters higher, so it would take up place here in the interior. So this is going to be really awesome. Got the screws down here, all done, and back there as well, very easy. So yeah, installation is going to look really clean, I think, which is just awesome. There we go guys, that's it for this video. As you guys saw, we got the shifter mounted, and got everything temporarily up again on the mount there. I'm gonna tear down the downpipe probably tomorrow, so yeah. Hello guys, and welcome to day 2 of this video. Today we're gonna tear down the gearbox and hopefully get the DSG box up in place. We're gonna start by removing the tires and the drive shafts and all the screws underneath. and then we're gonna lower the car down and then get the bolts up top, the starter and all the wiring for that. So yeah, let's get to it. There we go. Come on guys, follow me. Okay, so now that we got the wheel off, we're gonna have to loosen the bolts here from the arm to the spindle, so we can get the whole brake assembly out to remove the drive shaft. These 3 bolts here we're gonna have to remove, and then we can put the spindle out to get the drive shafts out. There we go. Get all the bolts out to the drive shaft. Hopefully we can get this one loose here, maybe. Somehow. Let's see if we can. Oh, there we go. Is it still stuck? Oh, I missed one screw. Yeah. There we go. Now that drive shaft is loose, like that. And let's get to the other side and loosen that one as well. There we go. Right drive shaft is loose as well. We like that. Now we're almost ready to, let's see, there we go. Now we're almost ready to move to the upside as well. We're gonna loosen the jog bone and the few of the bolts between the gearbox and the engine. And then we're gonna lower it down. All right, let's go. All right guys, so now we're gonna loosen the jog bone, which is these 2 bolts, as well as the rear ones, because we need to remove the mount completely, so we can lower the, let's see, what's it called, the left side, and slide the gearbox out. So we need to get rid of the whole mount here. There we go, and now for the transmission mount side. It's a 16, FYI. There we go. go. So we got the dog wheel loose. Now we're gonna have to get to these bolts. I don't know if they're 16 or 17. Oh, they're 16. Beautiful. Maybe I should have loosened these before doing the dog wheel mount. So I'm gonna leave this bolt just snug, so the transmission still is mounted to the engine, and then I'm gonna remove all the other bolts, so when it's time we can just loosen them by hand, as well as one on the top, just for safety reasons. To the steering rack, and then we got this one here. This is for the starter engine. There we go. Got some light here. This is also for the servo mount, as you can see. Then we got one last bolt here. I don't know if that's 16 or if it's even bigger. Oh, it's even bigger. Come on. There we go. So now we're basically ready to move up to the upside here. We got all the bolts except one, just to hold the transmission in place basically. We got the drive shafts out, loose from the gearbox at least. So yeah, let's lower the car down and get rid of the starter and all the electronics and the rest of the bolts. Let's go. There we go. Like that out. There we go. I think now nothing is holding on the gearbox. Now we just have one sensor here. Maybe. There we go. That's all the wiring to the gearbox. Now we have the bracket here, or the mount. And we're gonna have to get rid of this master cylinder, maybe that's called, clutch cylinder. So we got the clutch cylinder removed, just put that to the side, and we got pretty much everything loose except the top bolt to the starter, as well as the rest of the bolt here on the top of the gearbox. So let's remove those, and then we're ready to go. There we go, that's the last bolt to the starter. Now this should come right out, I hope. There we go, starter removed. Now we're gonna have to take bolts out here. Let's see. That one's removed. We got this one and this one. There we go. And then we're just going to loosen this one a little bit. There we go. So now we should have basically all the bolts loose. We're just gonna have to loosen the gearbox mount, and then we can start lowering down the gearbox. Very nice. There we go, guys. So as you guys can see, we got the 5-speed out of the car, and here we have the DQ250, which is going in the DSG box. And yeah, as you can see, the 5-speed is very small compared to the DSG box, but you can also see that the flanges here is exactly the same, which means it's just straight bolt-on. So what I'm going to do is, as I've said in one of the previous videos, is measure here from the flange to the outside of the right drive shaft, and from here to the left side of the drive shaft, so that I can see how much too big the the new drive shafts are, because the old ones won't fit because of different diff geometry. So yeah, finally we're ready to put the new DSG box in. We're just gonna get the new flywheel in first. Alright guys, so I got the clutch removed, the flywheel and everything, and as you can see I've been running an aftermarket because I'm running so many horsepowers. But I noticed, I don't know if you can see here, it doesn't look very good here. I've only been running this for about 10,000 kilometers, I think. So it's not very much used. And as well as here, you can see on the pads, they're very worn down from a very short amount of time. As you can see, it's a 6-puck, very tough. They call it the stage 4, but yeah, I don't know what happened here. If it's been slipping or if it's just because it's an eBay kit. The flywheel doesn't look as bad, but looks like it has been running a little bit hot. So yeah, it was very much time to change the clutch either way, I think. Maybe that's because that's why it has been slipping, because it has for like the last time I've been running it. So yeah, now we got the dual mass flywheel, which is bolt on. It also has the 6-bolt pattern with an offset screw, just as I have on the engine today. So yeah, we're gonna bolt that up, and then we're ready to put on the gearbox. Alright guys, so as you can see, or maybe if you don't know, when you have the dual mass on the DSG box, you got this, what's it called, a bearing for the, I don't know if it's to steer in the axle when you put the gearbox on, but when you have the 5-speed manual, you don't have that. You just have the bigger hole, but when you need to put the DSG box on, you need to have this little bearing in place. So I just used a socket to hammer it in carefully, of course. But yeah, it fits right on the shaft for what's it called? Yeah, to the engine. So there's no problems there. Just fits right in. Just be careful when you hammer it in so you don't break the bearing. But yeah. All right, guys, there we go. As you guys maybe can see, we finally got the DSG in the car. Got it mounted to the engine and everything. So yeah, now all we got to do is get all the bolts around and then start putting on the starter motor and all the electricals for that, as well as putting the gear shifter cable on the gearbox. But that's for the next episode. This will be all for this episode, and if you like what you see, put a like. If you're wondering anything, just put a comment down below, and yeah, don't forget to subscribe.